It's funny how a number of people think that they're going to be successful. I mean, everyone does, and not everyone will. Now, whatever your definition of success is, of course, is dependent on you, but I think you get my point. And that's exactly what I was talking to my roommates about yesterday. And then one of my other roommates mentioned, well, it's their fault, right? And I thought it was a very harsh thing to say until I started thinking about it properly. That really, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, the results that you have, the combination or the combination of the person that you are currently is really your fault. And I think that it's this statement, at least, that would help a person go from where they are to where they want to be. Because unless you start taking responsibility for everything that you're doing, you're going to keep blaming it on every single thing. So it means that the reason why you're not reaching your goals, the reason why you're not productive, the reason why you're not, doing all the things that you have said you were going to do is really not because of your circumstances. Now, take this. When I was in 100 level about 2 years ago, right? There was a period in my life where my parents were finding it difficult to send my allowance. By God's grace, they're in a better position now. But then they were finding it difficult to send my allowance, because of a number of things that were happening at home, right? And I was genuinely so close to getting upset with them, right? Not like angry to yell at them or anything, far from that, but upset that, like, why didn't you guys, do something else? Like, why can't you, send my sister and I like the amount that we need and everything, even though it was just for a short while, right? And immediately, like I said, that doesn't make any sense because I have, obviously, like as it should be, a better opportunity than they had rather, like when they were my age and all the rest. I'm in a private school. I mean, see the environment; it looks decent, right? My parents, support me, and I have the best opportunities ever. Even like the time period that we're in, where you can access the internet, you can learn anything, you can apply for jobs without going to places physically. It's just like the time difference is already like a great factor to differentiate you between your current self and the older generation and all the rest, right? And I immediately said, nah, it's my fault. Like the reason why I have to wait for them to send my allowance, and if they don't do that, I would have to go hungry, is because I didn't do something that I was meant to do at some point. Because I know some people that are in school and are doing really, really well for themselves, right? In fact, you hear people that sponsor themselves through school and everything, right? So what exactly is the difference between them and myself? In fact, most of them didn't have rich parents or didn't have good opportunities, and all these type of things, right? And until you start taking responsibility, you're always going to find yourself in a rut, right? So you're in school, you think you can't build a business because you have to handle school and the rudiments of growing and building something. It's not true, because there are people that do that, right? And we must eventually come to the conclusion that, okay, it's my fault. So what exactly is the idea? What exactly is the point of this video? What you meant to draw out, right? Because if you just say that it's your fault, you're doing all of these things. Hi, Shego. If you say it's your fault that you're doing all of these things, right, and you end there, then there's really nothing good that comes out of that. Because all that will come out really is self-pity, anger, and maybe even disgust, as it were, right? I think the sun is here. Ah, man, sun is here. I'm just turning here, right? And even maybe disgust, right? So that's not the end goal. The end goal is, after realizing that it's your fault that you're in this mess, you start to take reasonable steps. So the conclusion would be to live intentionally, right? To like have, structures in place that would make you live intentionally. Because at the end of the day, I came to the point, when I was in 100 level, that the reason why my life is like this is because I haven't been living intentionally. I've been doing things on the fly. Whatever comes my way, I do it. Whatever opportunity, as it were, comes, I do it. I'm not really intentional about making something or making a couple things work for myself. And that's the conclusion, right? That you must choose to live intentionally. Have a plan on the things that you want to do, on where you want to go, right? It should be measurable as to, okay, so if I continue doing this thing for long enough, then I should arrive at this point. That's really what I'm saying, right? Instead of leaving things on the fly. Okay, you go to school, right? And you're going to classes, if you have to do IT, you go on IT, hopefully they pay you, and all this type of thing. And success is different things. I'm not just talking about money. It could be even your goals, right? um Live intentionally. So that means that the time that you spend doing certain things is accounted for, right? The people you spend time with is accounted for. You're not just making friends, you're not just talking to people, you're not just watching random YouTube videos, like you're not just reading random books, in fact, right? That everything is accountable. Why are you reading what you're reading? Why are you doing what you're doing, right? Why are you keeping the friends that you're keeping, and all these type of things, right? All of these things eventually would add up, because I can't remember who said this, but well, a number of people say it, that the reason you are where you are is sort of like a sum total of all the actions that you've taken before, right? And when you realize that, you know that, okay, the reason I'm here is because there were certain things that I did not do, or certain things that I did, right? And that basically should help you sort of like live a more productive life and get you at least closer to the person that you want to be. So remember, it's your fault, regardless of what circumstance you grew up in. Even if, I say this very respectfully, your parents aren't doing well for themselves, or for themselves rather, or maybe you have a single mom or a single dad, like, it's your fault at the end of the day, because there are people that have been in worse situations than you and have done way much more, right, than you're currently doing. So remember, you can design the life that you want to live. It's a series that I'm currently working on, right? So you can design the life that you want to live, and hopefully we can get there together. By the way, you can subscribe to my newsletter. I think I send out things like this once in a while. All right, so take care. Bye.